Bush League Podcast. A show about nothing and everything.
Okay.
Yeah. People are like, that's what Gary looks like all the time.
Oh, wow.
Why,
Sometimes
why are you the way you are?
I'm assuming he was dropped on his head as a child, but
The screen is not frozen. Whoa.
Oh my gosh.
Hi.
you see, the problem is if people listen to this on Podbean or anything like that, they have no idea what's going on.
That's why they got to go to YouTube now.
Yes, this is true.
Can't buy this hat, though. It's unique.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of lawnmower sweat in it
Really?
now.
Mine's still up in my closet. I rarely
Right.
ever use it.
Oh, mine's so gross.
Okay.
It's so
Yeah,
bad.
mine is.
I only wear. I think
I don't know how-
we went to wrestling every so often. That's the only time I ever wore it.
Mine's about the
Just
same,
right in the
brand new.
box.
I do. Whenever I wear it anywhere, people think it's a some sort of Black Lives Matter hat. That's just what they. And it's usually like, oh no, it's just a wrestling hat, but it does have a B and an L in it. So
His hat says BLW.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of what I'm always like. I don't know if you noticed, but this letter here
Oils like water.
is not just an upside down M. It's actually just a W. Just
Yeah. Wow.
yeah, that's what, I get it a lot. Yeah.
Like I said, I don't wear mine very often.
You should put it on right now.
You should, buddy. Have some pride, man.
Well, I'm trying to think.
I
Take some
can't
pride in what
help
we
but
do.
notice that you had that pillow made with your own face on it.
No, I did not have that made.
It's a little
I did not have that made. That was a gift.
it's a little narcissistic to be making out with yourself, isn't it?
It's a handsome looking pillow.
I would like to gently rest my face on my own face.
There's nothing more warm and inviting than me.
Me. Ugh.
Yeah. So the video is really working this time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope.
Yeah.
Don't think so.
Gary
Wow.
So
Gary
don't say
hasn't
that.
taken a fit of rage yet and thrown a remote.
Yeah. If he does this
I
time, you'll
turned
see it.
the sleep
Good
off
idea.
on my laptop.
Nice.
Is it plugged in?
He doesn't know.
I think so.
He has no clue.
For now.
Sure it is. Maybe.
That's like whenever someone asks you, like, "Are you sure?" and then you're like, "No."
The best part is when,
you sure you did
think
that?
100%, you're like,
No.
I did that 100%, yes. And then like 5 or 10 minutes later, you're like, I got a little doubt creeping in here, but I'm going to stay the course.
Yep.
Yeah, no, all right.
Gary's like, "I'm 100% every time." Are you sure you put that? Did you double check that we don't get that bug out of the software before that goes out? Yep.
Just
Gone. 100%.
Just like,
Send it out.
Yeah, no.
just like a parking space. There it is. It's done.
Oh,
I had some people kind of, I guess, corroborate some of the pet peeves. They were like, "Oh yeah, I hate it when that happens."
really?
Yeah. Seriously, it went over pretty well. Yeah.
You should be happy because even me and Katie are walking through the store and she goes, "Pet peeve, understand." She just kept going.
Right.
Oh,
Yep.
Well done, son.
I said,
it was a dandy one yesterday too. It's the exact same.
Right in the middle.
The trifecta. Three women talking right in front of one of the grocery aisles at Walmart. Cameron still lives here. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And like whatever they put in the middle, like they put stuff in the middle of the aisle now. So then there's like the perpendicular aisles, and then there's
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like you can't turn your cart around. Like so if you went that way, you're kind of stuck now. And the three of them were just sitting there having a full on like just oblivious to the world.
Well, the worst part,
Yep.
the worst part is now even in the grocery store, they have Halloween candy. I saw Halloween candy the other day. I stopped and turned, and I was like,
Yeah.
that's crazy. Sure, the temperature feels like it's the middle of fall already, but it shouldn't be out yet.
Well,
That's why when I go to get it, there'll be none left.
Yeah. So like we were just joking about Jeremy like not jinxing the video. But like my house is now 6 years old. I finally caved and got an air conditioner. I'm telling you, the day after we installed that bad boy, it's been 20 degrees, just steady outside. We haven't had another hot day.
Yeah, I was
go
almost
figure.
the same way with the air conditioner upstairs. I was like, I had to put it all in, and it's like a portable one, so I put it in the window. So I tape it all up with white duct tape to make it look nice, to get it all done. It's like 2 days.
The white duct tape to make it look.
Don't use the silver duct tape. Use the white duct tape. Because
Wow.
I went to the dollar store, got the white
no,
duct tape.
No. I went to Home Hardware and bought the good stuff.
That's finishing
nice.
duct tape.
It's duct tape.
That's finishing duct tape.
Extra duct.
Well, meanwhile, I have Gorilla Tape holding my bumper on my car now, black, on my white car. And it actually, when you look at it, it actually looks like it's part of the actual car. It looked like the seam going up the side of the bumper. I'm like, that doesn't look actually half bad. I might want to do that on the other side.
Couldn't find a shoelace or
Nope.
But that's kind of, isn't that new? Didn't you just get that not long
Correct.
ago? Oh,
That's
sorry,
all right.
man.
There was
Sorry,
an
bro.
incident with an animal.
An animal?
And the animal ran away.
skunk?
Happy?
Oh no.
Anywho, it needs to be fixed.
Okay.
Yeah,
that
yada yada
frustrating
yada.
stay.
Now the neighbors aren't talking to us.
No, it wasn't anything like that.
You can't just yada 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 over
Sure
that.
you can. Yada yada yada. Anyway.
Wow. Well, you didn't stick your head in the doghouse.
No, I
So
don't
that's
have a
good.
dog.
It's good, man.
And the neighbor's dog is always inside. So, yeah, no, I actively
That's good.
avoid dog houses. I see dog house, I'm like, not even going to go over near it. Nope, don't care.
Yeah, Tyson and I went to Halifax once, and the fender on my front car was loose
was
and
a Hyundai.
flapping the whole way. Was a very old Hyundai. So yeah, rather than Gorilla Tape, I'm not that smart. So we just went into the department store and I found a shoelace. And I tied the fender to the frame.
Didn't that shoelace stay there for quite a long time though?
Oh, it was on there
Wow.
for years.
Good old,
That's what
good
I
old
thought.
shoelace.
Good, nice knot too. Never loosened up at all.
Well, people have been doing weird things like that for years. My grandfather years ago, he had a Volkswagen Beetle and he was in the woods. And the way the Beetle is it's just got the transmission in the front, goes back to the back axle, like in the engine and stuff. So anyway, he was going over a bump and he heard this big snap and he turned around and looked and he could kind of see out of the car into the ground. It had broken in half.
Oh
So
no.
I said, well, what did you do? He goes, well, lucky for me, I had a pair of chains. I was like, what? And he goes, a pair of, we call them come-alongs. It's just like a big ratchet. So
Yeah.
So he took, he went from one side of the frame to the other side of the frame. Kick. All right, we're good. And he drove all the way home with his chain. And I said, did it hold? Oh yeah. He said, I didn't even know it was there when I got home. He said, I was like, I wonder what'll happen when I undo the chain. As soon as he did, the whole thing fell to the ground and like V-shaped into the ground. He goes, well, time for a new car.
Wow.
Come along.
Come along now.
Oh snap. Oh snap. Well, boys, this is number 40.
Wow.
You didn't know that?
I probably
didn't know
knew
that,
it
did you?
at some point. as usual.
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna start reading more of the stuff you guys say in the chat. So like that.
I'm pretty sure you already reacted to that too. I think you also said what in the chat.
But
know.
was that like yesterday or the day before? Because if it wasn't, I've already forgotten.
It was it was like a few days ago. I think.
Great if it's like a 2 minutes or 20-hour kind of moment. Yeah, goes right out. You guys have known that about me for years. You could tell me something now in 2 minutes, I'd be like, "What? Squirrel?"
Give you all my banking information.
I wouldn't even remember. I wouldn't even remember 2 seconds.
So maybe it's more appropriate that the video didn't work last time, but it's going to work this time.
Maybe.
You know, for the big 4-0.
Yep, 40 episodes to finally have video. Yeah.
Yeah.
Celebration.
This is your reward, people. You get to see all of this. Isn't this nice? Isn't this great?
Yes, it is. This is your penance.
40 more and he'll be as old as Cameron.
Now. That's hurtful. So somewhat true, but I'm just a little north of 40. North of it, okay? I'm just...
Isn't that used to be a show on CBC?
North of
60. 60. North of 60.
North of 40.
I think that's... Where's the 40th? Isn't that probably in the U.S. somewhere?
Yeah.
Podcast title.
North of 40.
North of 40. North of 40. The Cameron Hare story.
Life north of 40, like in New York City and Los Angeles. Somewhere around there.
You know, you're getting up there too. Don't be making just fun of me. You guys are probably closer to 40 than I am. Yeah. Yeah.
I'll never forget.
Oh, I know you're in it.
It was
do this one.
It was close to one of my birthdays, and Cam and Katie were over with me and Amanda and Cam. I said something about Cameron's age. Okay, yeah, well, you're catching up to me. I was like, buddy, that's not how that works. I'll never catch up to you.
Someday you hopefully will.
Never give up.
And I'll come back to haunt you on that day.
Oh, man.
Remember I said you'd catch up to me? Whoa!
Yeah, that's good.
Wake up stumbling in the middle of the night and all of a sudden, diamond cutter.
It wasn't a diamond cutter, thank you, sir.
Oh, man.
You punched me in the face, and then you stomped me into the ground. You got it back the next morning, though.
Did he not give you a diamond cutter in the prayer room, though?
Yes, he did. And all I know is you said I looked like Superman flying in the air. You got me.
Oh, man.
I've given him everything.
Hey, man, no judgment for me. He had to pay rent somehow.
I'm pretty sure he gave me a concussion at least twice.
Oh, man.
We've been on the couch, on the pool table, in the love seat.
Yep.
We broke a bed.
That's true.
The first day you moved in.
Yep. Yes, we did.
Didn't waste any time.
Tyson and Jeremy broke one too. That's not very easy.
It took them years and years to catch up.
Well, Cameron, the one you broke was that time. Weren't you trying? Wasn't it me? You were trying to double axe handle, and you went to jump. It was like a captain's bed, and when you tried to push to jump, the whole bed
So what Jeremy's politely trying to say is because you were fat and you were trying to jump off the bed, you broke it.
A child's bed.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep. I just remember I came around the corner and there was a crazy man up like this. And all he did was when I saw him was go collapse into a pile of blankets.
It was the very corner, and when it broke, both my feet hit the floor, and I went to go forward, but because the bed was just about knee level, it like felt like it was going to break both of my knees going forward. See, I remember that. Gary's like, my bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've broken a lot of stuff in our time. Like a lot.
Man, I broke what we think was almost a 200-year-old antique bed.
I forgot about that.
Well, yeah, but we played a gig in Great Village, Nova Scotia, and there's a big antique store there, and then there's this really old vintage bed and breakfast,
Which you
and there's no
decided to say.
hotels around. Well, so we didn't. That's where they put us up, right? So they put us up in the bed and breakfast, and the guy's making breakfast for us in the morning.
Didn't he play in a band that opened for the Flaming Lips or
for
something?
the Flaming Lips, because he's talking to us over breakfast, because that was my tell of he wasn't mad. But man, he was like the butler from Mr. Deeds. Like, so Jeremy and Nathan are laying in their bed and they slept in, and me and Gary are up, and all I did was I didn't jump, I didn't anything. I was like, you know what I mean, kidding around like, hey fellas, and I crawled in bed. And the weight of the three of us within 2 seconds, just boom, down on the ground. And I'm talking, Cameron, you couldn't have counted to 3. That guy was in the door. Like, what happened? What happened here?
So,
How did,
because like,
oh man, it was
somehow,
so quick.
Well, somehow me and Nathan ended up in this fancy, like super romantic suite room. It was one of the nicest. I remember
Victorian bed and breakfast.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
the sheets were like velvet red silk, and me and Nathan shared this bed with like fire engine red silk sheets, and it was like this super old, antique fancy bed. And like he said, he just comes in, we're half asleep, waking up in between the frame, like, what is happening? And the guy's already there, like trying to figure.
Comes flying up the stairs. I'm bent over in half in the hallway laughing.
Like, he got there so quick. He got there so quick. And there's a lot of gigs and places we traveled that I don't remember, but that one, I even remember the breakfast because I left there starving. Like, I don't know if this guy saw this in a cookbook or something, Cam, but he took this little ceramic dish and there was a layer of eggs, and then there was like a layer of onions, and then there was another layer of eggs, and then there was like 3 big slices of tomato and paprika and all this stuff. And I remember like looking down at this thing like, oh, okay. And I cut through one egg and I'm like, you know me, we've been over how fussy I am. Like, what's this? And every layer just tasted like either tomato or onion. Like, it was just like, it wasn't egg.
Because it was you
rubber,
and Gary
know what I
that
mean?
did the breakfast, right? Wasn't it? Didn't you guys go down?
Yeah, you guys never showed
Yeah,
up.
No, you never showed.
Slept in. We just were asleep.
Sleeping on the floor at that point.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't have a good track record with that. Because there was another gig we were on, Gary, with Dunamis, and it was like flashbacks. We landed at Mark's house at like 4 a.m, 3 a.m,
Yeah, it was really
something like
late.
that.
In the middle of the night.
And me and Jeremy went into one room, and Phil and Trent went into the other room, and Jeremy said, I'll take the floor. I said, okay, very best. Like, I lost that.
We
bet.
played rock, paper, scissors,
Yes, we did.
which was dumb
Yeah, that's
because
right.
I always lose. Just always do.
So the winner, I was in bed for, this one wasn't 3 seconds. This one was like a solid 30. And it was almost like, all right, man, well, we got a long day tomorrow, kind of good night, John boy. And no sooner did I say good night, boom, on the floor. And one side panel, Cameron, went this way. This one went this way. The footboard went that way.
It perfectly fell.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Just,
It was-
and all, Mark came flying in, the lights came on, and all you could hear was his wife at the time up the hall. I told you that wouldn't hold. I told you that wouldn't hold.
And you got it like, so it was like, you had the covers like pulled up like this. All you could see was your fingers, your face, and your toes stuck out the handle and flat on your back. And as soon as Mark flipped the light on, you're laying there like this, looking at all of us, and you're like, "Don't laugh. I have a weight problem."
Don't laugh. I have a weight problem.
Oh man!
Just looks like Flipper under a blanket.
And you had the really long, like super, like curly hair then too. And it was
buddy,
like a million degrees because it was the middle of summer. So it was just like this huge afro sticking out of the blankets. Oh man! It was
Man! And that was the same week too that Amanda didn't know. So me and Amanda, we had like very recently got engaged, right? And she loved my hair. And I didn't tell her, Gary, but like the third day in Ontario, I just walked into a random hairdresser's and I was like, yeah. How much to shave it off?
Oh.
And the poor lady, like, she tried to talk me out of it. And she's like, are you sure? Like, this is all. I was like, yeah, too hot. Gotta go. And she just buzzed it off. So then when we were done with the band trip, Amanda came to pick me up and like, there I am, buzz cut. It's just gone. Like I went from like 8 inches of hair to nothing. It's all gone.
I forgot you got rid of all of it.
Yeah.
Oh, you're lucky you didn't. Yeah, that wouldn't have been good.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I just remember it was so warm.
It was hot.
Now
yeah.
you wish you could, now we all wish. Some of us wish we could have all that back, but not like Gary.
I hear you, buddy.
Yeah, the army is definitely heading toward the north, and I can't stop it.
In full retreat.
Just full. Yeah, they're getting it from the north and the south at this point. So whatever. It's surrounded me.
Mine just from the north.
Don't worry,
but-
eventually the south will just keep. The south will keep coming up.
Yeah,
The
mine's
south will take over the north.
mine's just from the north, but they only went halfway and they decided to hang tight and see what else is going to happen.
Set up camp.
Yeah, set up camp right there. Some of them on a peak, if you will, just to see.
A peak where a widow might live.
Yeah.
I don't know when all of a sudden, Gary, you took I had the record for a long, long time of longest hair.
Yeah.
And now it's yours. At some point in the last couple of years, it went to you.
Yeah. I kept it trimmed really nice and tight the whole time through COVID. Cut it myself and everything, didn't let it grow at all. And then after COVID, I kept going to get it done. And every time I'd go, the person I had cutting my hair before was gone. And I had a new person. So eventually I was just like, stop.
You're like, I'm good, thanks.
Did you say that in the hairdressing place? You just stand up and go, stop,
Stop.
and then you left. So you cut your own hair?
That's not me. I just ghosted them.
Nice. That's
More my style. Yeah.
You cut your own hair?
During COVID, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I had like just the buzz around the sides and a poof on the top. So
I like how you added
Wow.
poof. That's what I'm just saying. There you go. Yep. Well done.
I also
I
cut
never
my
know
own
what to
hair.
say.
It's just a buzz, so I don't feel like it counts, you know?
Right.
Clipper number 2, and away we go. Yeah.
I say the same thing every time. I would go in there and they're like, just a cut, because they look at me and they're like, this guy's not doing anything. And I'm like, yep. And then they sit down and they're like, they hold it. They're like, so how much do you want? And I'm like, I say the same thing every time. I'm like, just so like when I wear my hat, a little bit sort of comes out. And they go, so like this? And I go,
Sure.
whatever.
I already know your reaction.
Yeah.
Your main comment is, yeah, so I'm just going to cover this up.
Yeah, it is. It's like, you know, I'm wearing this in here. I'm probably going to wear it when I leave, so I don't care. whatever you think, whatever you recommend, whatever you feel like you do well, I'll take that, I guess.
Yes.
Terms.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Although the last one, they're all kind of slightly different. The last time I went, I got like the hot towel thing on the back of the neck.
Oh yeah.
It was just like included. I've never had that before. Oh yeah. Yeah. She went and got the towel thing and then like put it on and like kind of like borderline massages you and pulls the hot towel down over the back of your neck. And you're just like, I was like, I feel like I haven't felt like this since I was in elementary school and they used to do the check your hair there for lice. And you'd be like, whoa, this is so nice. And you'd half fall asleep.
No, I
was like, wow,
never
this is
had
great.
that, Jeremy. This is interesting to find out, though.
They didn't do that. They didn't make you put the 2 new pencils on your desk, and then they people come through and they check your head for lice.
Not in olden times.
They just killed you. He's got lice. Take him out and shoot him.
We'll burn him as a witch.
Cameron's teacher had one of the plague masks on.
I could probably. There was. Never mind. Let's move on.
I went for a haircut a few years ago and they washed my hair. And she kind of started daydreaming in the middle of washing it and just kept rubbing my hair for like 10 minutes.
Okay.
I was just like,
That's kind of like. That's kinda like
and she kind of comes to. She was like, "Oh, sorry." It's like,
Yeah.
fine by me.
you're like, well, what? You stopped? Why?
Gary, I guess I got a tip like $20.
Oh wow.
We were talking about the small talk thing. I'm a master at the haircut
Are
small
ya?
talk.
Oh yeah.
I think they're happy, like
They feel engaged.
yeah, like they don't, because they always have to, the question's coming, right? They have to do it. So they're like, so what are you doing this weekend? And they just kind of say it on autopilot. And so then, I actually try to tell them and ask them questions too. And usually by the end, we've both had a great time. Both really enjoyed it. So I feel like I'm pretty good at that. And I think they're like, hey, that was nice. I didn't have to like ask mind-numbing questions with no response for 20 minutes.
So if you like the towel on your neck from like getting your hair cut, you should go to an actual barber and get a shave with a straight razor. They put the towel on your face. It's like you're like.
Is that what you do?
Once because I always wanted to see what it was like.
Every day.
No.
Once at noon and once at
When you do it, like they put the towel on you, you're kind of like, you feel like you're smothering. At first, you're like, this is kind of freaky. So then he starts doing like.
Cameron once went every day for 2 weeks, and then the barber quit on him. I can't do this anymore.
I can't keep up with these blades, Nolan.
Have you ever talked to anyone else and everyone else said, no, I didn't feel like I was getting suffocated at all?
No, it was. I don't even know why I did it. I think it was there was a barber in Sunny Corner, and I thought, well, I just wanted to shave because at that time I'd actually let it grow a little bit, and I was kind of like, let's see what the big deal is, But when they go with a straight razor to the side, you're fine. You're like, okay, that you can feel that blade slowly, and you're like, all right, how does this guy know how close, like
where your jugular
then it gets
is
down to your neck and starts going along, and you're just frozen. You're like, okay, I really hope you don't screw this up, and you can feel that blade going up. You can feel it going up and down, and you're just like, the guy goes, so I was talking to my son and my daughter. He's talking to the old lad sitting around. He's not even
Starts talking with his hands.
looking, and I'm like, dude, you got that thing right near my neck. You're like, I'm like trying not to even swallow because I'm scared if I swallow, he's gonna slit my throat open.
Poor guy with Cameron wouldn't know where to stop.
You take a gulp and your Adam's apple slices in half.
That's what I was worried about. But I'll tell you, best shave I ever had. It was the scariest one, but the best one.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's
you
true,
wonder,
eh?
like you're sitting in your head, you're like, all right, when you shave yourself, you know exactly, all right, I can feel this catching. Like I can feel this because it's my skin, but how does that guy know he's catching my skin? Like, I only did it the once. I never did it again because it freaked me right out.
Because you thought you were gonna get like held for ransom.
Just like in a gangster movie, you see the straight razor come out, and you're like, okay, yeah, that's terrifying.
Yeah, I've never done
Try
that.
it once.
I've never done that.
Try
either.
it once.
Cameron, I heard Brody Steele was on Colt Cabana's podcast.
Really?
And Colt said his earliest memory of Brody in the locker room was here's this dude who's almost 7 feet tall, just full on dry shaving in the mirror. He just called the razor out and just before he'd go out.
Yikes.
Yeah.
I used to be able to do that. When
Yeah.
I was young, I could do that. But now I'm just like, no, I wouldn't even bother trying that now. I'm an old man. I have an electric razor now because I'm lazy.
Fair enough.
Gary looks like he hasn't seen a razor in 2 years.
I don't know. He's got a pretty defined line there.
I had it shaved clean a couple of weeks ago.
Jeremy just shaved this morning.
I don't have anything to. If I let this go a little too long, it gets into neckbeard territory real quick. Like I don't know.
At least yours grows in. Like mine, when I tried to grow it out, you guys have seen it. It's just like patches, and it's like I couldn't grow one if I wanted to.
I can't grow one. I can grow like a thick mustache.
That is,
and then everything else is just.
I love that.
Yeah, but the French in me, it's like little mini sideburns, and then just islands until it gets to here.
And like your mustache, like the cross sectional area is probably the widest of all of us.
Yeah.
The mustache.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So congratulations.
It's funny. The best part is they always do the staff photos in late October, November. So every once in a while it hits on November, and I am in full on, like all my teacher IDs and my staff like full on mustache mode for all of them. Yeah.
Only you can pull it off, bud. Only you can.
Yeah.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate
You're
that.
welcome.
Boys, I was curious. Have you heard about this Oliver Anthony fella? No? No one? Richmond, north of Richmond? See this? No? Nobody?
Yeah. I've heard.
You've heard of it?
I've heard of it.
So my big thing was I was going to play the video, but it's not going to work. That was my thing I was going to do. And now it's just awkward.
Can't share a screen on this guy.
Well,
I don't
and it's
know.
probably falling a little flat because we have no idea what he's talking about.
I'm going to
give
try
her a
it
whirl.
here.
This should be fun. Yeah.
So this guy is like, he had no online presence, or if he did, it was very, very little. And he releases this song 3 weeks ago called Richmond, North of Richmond. And it's just like him standing in his yard with a microphone, playing guitar and singing this like kind of country song. And I think last I checked, it had almost 40 million
Holy
views
smokes.
today. And he went to number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100. And it was the first artist in history to go to first time being on that Billboard, being number 1. So no previous chart history at all. Jumps on at number 1. So it's like probably the biggest overnight sensation.
Holy smokes.
Um,
That's crazy. That could
Yeah.
be Gary.
Could be. Reminds me of my favorite meme I saw since last podcast was a picture of like a very complicated roundabout with text that said, try that in small town.
I saw that too.
Just so happens.
I saw
Gary.
that too.
That's why I thought you might have seen this because I thought you were like up on
All the latest news.
I thought you were up on all the latest stuff. Yeah,
I've seen it, but I haven't listened to the song.
Well, now we recommend you do
Let's
to add
see.
to the.
I got the gist of it. Oh no!
Oh, look at this!
the good work.
Oh, look at this!
I got my soul
You guys hear
working
that?
all day, overtime hours for both pay, so I can sit out here and waste my life away, drag back home and drown my troubles away. It's a shame what the world's gotten to for people like me, people like you. Wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. Oh, it is living in the new world with an whole soul. The rich men north of Richmond, Lord knows they all just wanna have total control. Wanna know what you think, wanna know what you do, and they don't think you know, but I know that you do. Your dollar ain't, and it's taxed to no end. Those are rich men, those are rich men.
Anyway, what
Well, I think
Isn't that-
it's
isn't
gone
that
to
wild?
number one because everyone identifies with
Yeah,
it.
really,
right? So he kinda
I
goes-
have a question. You guys are all
Yeah,
musicians. I have never been one. Is that a guitar or a banjo?
it is a. it's-
Resonator?
yeah,
So
it's
is it
Looks
a
like a-
combo,
looks like
a resonator.
combo deal thing, or what is a resonator?
That's not
So,
a bad
like-
way to describe it. Kind of, sort of.
Oh, okay. Because I'm looking at him like, is it
Yeah.
a banjo? Because it sounds like it's.
Like it's not. We don't need to get into this, but it's not really a banjo, but it's got that high sound and
Yeah.
yeah, just it. You've heard it a million times, like on different recordings and stuff,
Yikes.
right? But yeah, they're. I don't actually really know how they're built in behind here, but
The
they're
metal. It's just the
they just
metal
have
part
that,
that
like-
caught my eye. I was like, that's kind of odd.
classic.
but it's not like
Yeah.
the snare drumish on a banjo. You know what I mean? Like it's
Right.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's just interesting because there's a bunch of like conservative politicians that have kind of latched onto this as like the song of Americans today. And I mean, they're kind of not wrong because like, look at, I forgot to check when it was there, but yeah, it was like almost 40 million views from 3 weeks ago. The guy has like no history
And
at
now
all.
Now he's in the number one. So, wow, he's got to
Yeah.
be making money now.
Pretty crazy. Well, so the interesting thing is he was approached by a couple of music labels, and he, according to him, he turned down an $8 million offer to basically stay independent because he didn't care. He didn't like. I mean, think of it, right? Like some artists, they work their whole that's the dream. They grind at it for years and years, and they want it, and they've had time to think about it. But like, can you imagine you put something on YouTube and then like 3 weeks later, it's like, we want to give you $8 million and you can hit the road and tour all over the world. We're going to produce an album. And it's just like out of nowhere. This is really odd.
Yeah.
And this guy is like kind of like deer in headlights, I think. But he's kind of staying true to, he's like, I didn't do it for the money. I just, I'm just glad it resonated with people. And
But actually, good for him.
Yes.
Because it reminds me of like, yeah, but all these big companies, whether it's a bank or a record label or anything, they're not there to help you out. They're there to help themselves.
Yeah.
And then
Yes.
the second that they think they can get a piece of something, that's when you're magically offered. I remember dad won't mind me telling this, but I remember when he got the first business and everything, like he struggled with how are we going to do this and going to the bank and going to another bank and how can we arrange for, you know what I mean? Like go down the deep rabbit hole of that one. And he said, the funny part is like, no one really wanted to help me.
Right.
And then years later, the business is doing well. He could buy another business too. And he said, now they call once a week saying, do you need any money? Do you need any money? You sure you don't need any money?
Yeah.
Borrow money?
Yeah.
It's like, would you guys go away? Did you know what I mean?
heard a guy once.
Like this guy pro talent in 24 hours, and now that he's popular, now you want to sign him, and now you're offering him money, and now it's because you get a piece. That's why.
Yeah.
It's like the bank that wants to loan you money when you don't need a loan. Exactly. Same. Yeah. That's the part that always you laugh at.
Like, hey, you make all your payments on time. Yeah, we want to give you more money because we want to push you to the limit so that you find out where you don't make them, and then we'll bring it down a little bit so you do.
Yep.
Yeah, I just that just blew me away. I've never seen. There's been overnight successes before, but that is like record setting.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
But so did he beat Gangnam Style? Is that the?
I don't know if he's got enough views as Gangnam Style, but I think it's hard to compare, right? Because now stuff's like streaming and all that. Like I don't even know how you compare someone who succeeds like that today versus back then, just because like the media is different.
Like comparing a hockey player in like the 50s and 60s to a hockey player in the 90s.
Yeah, like
same kind of deal, right? You can't. They've all played the same game, but they played it completely differently.
Yeah, like no one's playing for 70 years like Gordie Howe anymore.
Exactly. You'd be lucky if you get 25 years.
Well, 25 would be like 15. Sidney Crosby, Alexander Ovechkin kind of thing. But anyway, I thought that was insane. Like, I don't know. Wow. Hopefully, some people have heard that before. I should have given a disclaimer for that. I forgot about.
We can. Anyway, we'll deal with that one.
Yeah.
We'll edit that in.
Don't worry about it.
You have the power.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. But anyway, I want to share that because now the thing is, the guy's voice is insane.
I was gonna say
like just this insane. Yeah, like I don't know. He sounded like as angry as his lyrics kind of are, like the frustrated, tired, like I don't know,
like how we all feel.
I can understand why it's resonated. Yeah, right. He's sick and tired of being sick and tired. Yeah. Now we're gonna rant about society for the next hour.
I'm resisting, man. I'm resisting hard.
I was just gonna say, I admire your restraint.
Oh, buddy.
So if he has to say Richmond north of Richmond, we have to say Richmond northeast of Canada. Gatineau. Richmond southwest of Gatineau. Anyway. Yeah.
Yikes.
So now we can do reaction videos, boys.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, right?
That is not good. Not good.
Good luck with that.
We can do them.
You already found the only video on all of YouTube Cameron hadn't seen yet.
This is...
It's a wonder he didn't see that at work.
Hey, I have new bosses. Do you mind? It's not like they're ever going to listen.
Your previous bosses.
The previous bosses are gone.
Your previous bosses were like, watch the podcast. He tells you what he does at work.
It's like, they're already gone. Goodbye. See you later. Don't worry about them.
Yeah.
But I do have new people. What are you trying to do to me? I can go to work and I'll get a message. I'll get a message like, hey, I saw your podcast or heard your podcast. I'm like, okay. You want to be a sponsor?
So do your coworkers tell on you, or how do they find out about it?
Well, there has been questions brought up out loud, and my supervisor goes, "What are they talking about?" Oh, don't worry about them. They're just messing with us. Don't worry about them. Yeah. But I
feel like of all of us, you get it a lot.
Thing comes up at least twice a week, if not 3 times a week. It's kind of like, hey Cam, I got some gravy. Oh yeah, I forgot you're too good for gravy, and they just do not lay off me about it. They're like, my gravy tastes terrible.
Do you know why, buddy?
Because it's.
Do you know why?
Because it's weird.
Because it's weird, man.
So
Thanksgiving's coming.
Countdown's on.
Thanks for priming that pump again.
so a couple of weeks ago, I was in BC for a wedding, and shout out to Craig and Joseph. They've listened to every single episode so far. Anyways, yeah. So Joseph's my half brother, and like, so I'm talking to him, and he's like, oh yeah, man, I love the podcast, and he's like, why won't Cameron try gravy?
Taking it Canadian wide, baby.
Yeah, and I was just like, I don't know. It's a great question.
You get to a certain point, you just can't give up. You've dug in. You gotta stay the course.
But man, it's so good.
It's the big gravy.
Someone in BC.
Maybe episode 50.
You went to a wedding in BC and they asked about that?
Yes. Yes, I'm not kidding.
That's just, yeah. Well, all I can say is just, you never know. Could happen anytime. I could just cave one day.
Anytime. On his way to work.
But you have caved because you've had like chicken pot pie and stuff. So like you have.
That's
Cameron, that's gravy.
Yeah, but I don't. Yeah, but when they have chicken pot pie, they actually put gravy on top of it.
Someday we're going to find Cameron laying down out behind a gas station somewhere with a jug of gravy next to him.
And we'll be like, we killed him. We killed him.
This is on you. It's on all of you.
This is on our conscience.
This is on you.
You pushed me to it. Peer pressure.
Wow.
Got the whole gravy mustache. It's all your fault.
Gravy mustache. Just brown all around. Just all around. Just little flakes of parsley stuck to his face.
Pastry stuff. Like,
but yes, everybody makes fun of me whenever someone says about gravy. It's like just been a constant barrage. At least once a week it's brought up. So thanks for that. And I thought, oh, well, it'll go away. No, it never does. As soon as someone gets gravy, as soon as they get gravy, they walk in, they're like, hey, Cam, got some gravy? Oh, yeah, you're weird. And they walk away. It's like, oh, he's not going to let that one go, eh?
you know what's crazy is I feel like when we all talk about people who talk to us about the podcast, I have a person here or there, you know, Gary and Tyson, you might talk to someone here or there. Cameron's like, I go to have family dinner and my entire family gives it to me about what we talked about on the podcast. Like everyone at work tells me that I need to do this.
It's crazy. Like, I'll get messaged. It's like every so often it's like, hey, you haven't done a podcast in a while. I'm like, yeah, we just did one. Oh, all right. And then later on I'd be like, that one was funny. Okay, thanks.
Go get some gravy.
Oh, and like if we never did video again, it was worth it just for Cameron pointing at the camera. Go, it's because of all of you. That was great.
I have a flair for the dramatic.
Oh my.
Man. So Tyson, what's the deal with the Bush League? Is that going to be merch we can sell soon or what?
What?
Yeah. This week, this was kind of our test run, and because I was kind of scared with the prices and stuff that it seemed too good to be true. Like, okay, well, we'll try it, and I'll see what the print quality's like. And then it landed here, and I was like, okay, like it's really good. So
it's
now I think I will try a hoodie out, and I will try because like the print quality is very, very good. So and the prices are not
Nice.
bad.
So it's time to go to a wrestling event,
Nice.
all wearing the same thing together, and have them all kind of stare and think we're invading them again.
Well, doing that and bringing our own belts kind of put us over the top of who are these guys. So
I forgot about the belts part.
we were getting
That's
stared
true,
at.
eh?
there.
You have enough. You have enough
That's
belts
true.
for us now that we just walk in. It's like, what are these guys? We're the belt collectors. Just sit down, say nothing. Gary,
Oh man.
You had those belts behind you, and we all had these hats, and it was just
Yeah.
kind of like, what is this? Some kind of takeover? And it was like, oh no, you don't understand. We have no clue. We're not doing anything.
first guy lands in front of us. It's like, hey, we haven't gone to wrestling in a while and heckled. I miss that.
Man, there's one in Miramichi in September.
Oh,
I saw that.
okay.
Yeah.
Who's wrestling in that?
I'm working it, so
Man, that's so fun.
You're working it.
yeah, I've been and I'm doing
Training.
oh gosh. Gary, I can't walk straight anymore. So
Here we go.
no, but the last
Every morning he crawls out of bed, takes a cookie
Cracks
sheet.
himself. No. What he does when he gets up, he rolls out of bed and goes, Jeremy, Gary, and then he moves on.
yeah. I say Gary when I'm trying to blow my nose when I get up in the morning.
When he tries
No,
to put his shoulder,
Phil,
puts his arm above his shoulder, he says, Jeremy.
Yes.
That's all. That's been
I was telling-
Look at that.
Oh,
Yeah, he's done for a month.
eh?
He's done.
Yeah.
He's on the deal.
No, it's all good. 12 years dislocated and someone finally popped it back in. It's been all good.
I was talking about that the other day, and I was like, I said I did so much damage to Tyson. Like, I really
the guilt's
did.
finally hitting him.
And I
Took him long enough.
The
Yeah, but it
shoulder
was all-
one was a complete fluke, and the
It
one
was
across
fluky
the
stuff,
back
though.
was
Yeah.
that was not a fluke. That was like wires went, and I wound up with a full 2x4.
Yes, but do you know what I
as
mean by
hard
like,
as I could. Anyway,
I didn't feel targeted though by you. It was like, yeah, but if you know what I mean, like your adrenaline's going wild. And if it wasn't me standing there, it would have been Gary or Cameron taking the 2x4 across the back. So it was just like,
I don't know
We all
where.
know that
you
would-
got
Yeah.
up, you grabbed a board and like, who's close? Wham!
we all know that would never.
I don't know if those videos.
Well, it's not like I stood there to take it, Cam. He just did it. So,
Yeah.
Oh man,
oh gosh.
I don't know if that video is still around, but there was a video of that floating around for a long time.
I might have that.
Oh man.
Well, you should
Future
I do.
episode.
I think I do.
Oh, it's boys. Put it, upload it, get it ripped to your, and then you can share it. We'll commentate on it now.
We're on commentating.
We'll do
yeah.
that for a future episode.
Well, we could do the.
Yeah.
Oh, we messed that up. There's Cameron flopping.
Pick some highlights. Talk about it.
There's Cameron falling again. There's Clifford beating somebody up. Gary.
No, but IHW's been coming to Miramichi
Ah.
and they use the Carrefour building. So we did all the lights and sound and everything.
Nice.
So I'm literally the guy doing all their entrances, hit and go on the music and video, and
That's so
uh,
much fun. And I saw
Yeah.
the pictures, and like you guys did an awesome job. It looked.
it looks
It
nice
looked
in there.
great.
Eh? It does look
It
nice in
does.
there. Like the room's nice and yeah. So,
Makes a
but now
big
I'm
difference,
doing
right?
videos for some of the wrestlers. So
Oh, go ahead.
that's
Nice.
This is it, boys.
well, they're all
Nice.
independent, right? Yeah, but a lot of them don't just wrestle for one
No.
promotion. They'll take work where they can get it, and they kind of travel with their music and video. Like they have what they, and for some of them, it's a do-it-yourself. They're just trying to,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I actually just did Taylor's,
Nice.
and then Taylor showed some guys, and now they're all freaking out, and they want me to,
Yeah, but Taylor has a song.
So we'll see what.
He did Lance Archer's song that played in like New Japan. Like that's crazy.
Well, in this case, Taylor was so easy to work with because he had already made his own music. He knew what he wanted. And he was like, if I could have something like this and this and this, like think Ghost Rider, you know what I mean? And I was like, yeah, sure. Like he gave me something to go on and away I went. And 2 weeks later I gave it back to him. He was like, sweet, love it, done. Like it was, you know, but he was very clear. Like, this is what I want. Can you do this? He knew what he wanted, right?
Which is doing what you do. That's a massive help, right?
Oh man, there's not 25 revisions on the. There's always the people that thought of stuff after. They had no idea when you started what they wanted. You had it was open license to do whatever you wanted, and then when you gave it to them, it was like, actually,
I was looking for this.
Could you change the green to blue? And could you? It's like no.
And when there's no thought of like, because like I don't know, and then now that I see it, now I have all these ideas, so now we can do what I want, right?
Yeah, and it's a lot more work that way.
You are incorrect.
Yeah, people don't realize.
I feel called out.
Wow.
You would.
Gary at a restaurant. Now that the pizza's in front of me, if you could do this again, but without
He would too. Might take him 6 weeks to get the restaurant, but once he's there.
Do you have restaurant regret, Gary, or you just kind of go with it once you're in there?
He has regret. You can tell.
Oh, I've had. It's not a regular thing.
I thought of you the other day, Gary. We drove mom and dad and like Josh and Jill and Denver and Ryan and me and Amanda and the kids all went to Cape Breton. And we all stayed together. And on one of the days we were there, Mom just wanted to go to a beach with beach glass. So we drove all the way out to Inverness. And it was further than any of us thought. And then Mom went up and down the beach for an hour or so looking for beach glass. And the kids played on the beach and everything. And then we went to leave. It was on Sunday. Then we went to leave and everyone's starving because we drove further than we thought. And now nothing's open in this town. Like the gas station isn't open.
Yep.
Sign in the window that no one to work Sundays, our apologies, and nothing's open.
Yeah.
And we're all hangry, we're getting cranky, and there was a little pizza place open, and like some of my family couldn't eat, like they don't have gluten-free anything, or they don't have dairy-free, like lactose, you know what I mean? So there's a little diner up the road, and so some of them had already ordered pizza, and it was almost an hour wait. And we walked up the road to this little cafe. This no-name Gary, little Maddox is still talking about that hamburger.
Oh yeah,
just like the best burger he's ever had.
Yep.
Just this little, and we almost didn't end up there. Like I walked up there out of frustration, like, oh, this will be good. It was phenomenal. It was unreal. Like I think I'd make the drive to go again, and then just turn around and come home. Yeah, it was on point. They
spitefully made the best burger you've ever had.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, we'll fix you.
Yeah, no, it was it was an on point.
Don't you find when you're so ravenously hungry sometimes that it's good, but your brain tricks you into thinking it's so much better because you're so hungry?
Oh, probably. Probably, but I was some cranky going in there. That poor waitress.
I've never met you angry and hungry. No. Man.
Oh gosh, but it was that anyway. And they were quick, and it was really good. But I thought of Gary, like this little hole in the wall, middle of nowhere, like to the point of we walked by the door because you couldn't see how to get into the diner. Like it's not like they had a big picture front window advertising they're even there. And there's an old lad sitting out in the bench. He's like, "You looking for the restaurant?" We said, "Yeah." He said, "It's back here." Like this little side door, and we walked in, and it was like just the best. Like anyway, it was just random. Like we almost walked by it and didn't get it, and this old lad was sitting out front on the bench.
You look
unreal.
Yep, right there. Okay, thank you, sir.
Good sign,
right?
Yeah, it was on point. Yeah, I thought Gary would approve.
Speaking of vacation stories, we went camping in Cavendish 2 weekends ago. No, last weekend, and doesn't matter. And anyways, we went from Saturday till Wednesday. So we get there, do a Saturday check-in, and we pull in and getting set up. And Saturday is kind of an odd time because people are usually already there because they're probably there for the weekend. Anyway, so we get there, right? So we're setting up whatever, and there's no one on one side of us, and then there's another trailer 2 sides down. And then like as like Saturday is sort of wearing on, I can see like a couple more cars kind of start coming in and parking, and it's like more people milling around, and I'm like, I think I see what's going on here. And anyways, so based in the evening, they all start drinking, and yeah, and I was like, okay, yep, okay, see how this is going. And so as the night goes on, they're getting kind of louder and louder, and the security guy comes by like once. You know, ask people comes by again, ask them again. And I can hear them every time the security guy leaves. They've got like all these comments like, what does you think it's a Saturday? And like, blah, blah, blah. Like, oh, we're just trying to have fun. And like, you can't have fun like on a Saturday. And they're like, and one guy's like, it's like Saturday in a campground. Like, what do they expect? And it's like, well, they kind of expect you to follow the rules that they very clearly lay out.
That everyone else is also going by.
And everyone else. Yeah. So like across the road from them is a couple tents, and I'm looking around like throughout the day, and it's like all, you know, same as us, young families, kids, you know, stuff like that. So they're just like, so I'm sitting outside, and Gabe goes to bed. Thankfully, he passes out, sleeps through the whole thing, and they are just like swearing, like loud swearing, and they're going on and on and on. And finally Trish goes to bed because she's like, I can't keep my eyes open. I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna sit out here because like I can hear them, they're hammered. Like if someone comes stumbling through here, I don't know, I'm just gonna sit up and see. So basically we get past 11 o'clock and they're like full bore, you know, music's going and they're laughing and all this. I'm sure you can hear them all the way. So like 12 o'clock, the whole entire, like the whole security fleet, 5 of them all show up. Yep. And they start pulling people. They're pulling people up out of chairs. Wow. And they're like, oh, no joke. It was crazy.
Real.
So one guy was, yeah, it did. They turned into like, they were like, I don't know. I guess we have to be police now. And they took this one guy who was probably the loudest dude, and he was completely wasted. I watched him trip over a cooler. He fell on one of the security guys. He picks him up, pukes everywhere.
Oh, man.
This is like going on 12:30 now, and like I'm just sitting there still watching all this go on. Anyways, he's there in a van, like a camper van thing. So they throw him in his van, and like they eventually get everyone dispersed, and they stand around. So probably about 1 o'clock in the morning, like I kind of get up and I sort of peek around, and they're standing there watching to make sure that they're staying and all this. So, you know, she comes over to me and she's like, oh my, I'm so sorry, sir. I'm so sorry. Like we don't know what to say. And I'm like, well, it's
nothing you can do, but you can't control.
Good. Like, what are you going to do?
Common decency.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you can get like how that works on a campground. If like you can say it's like a domestic thing and you get police involved.
I've never
I don't know how that works.
I've never heard of like, and I've been to a fair amount of campgrounds.
But you could,
right.
Because to be fair, they've been warned. Like if you called the police on them, you could honestly say, like, listen, we've been out 3 times and warned them to be quiet.
Yeah.
They said they'd obey the camp rules when they landed here, and they're not. And now we can't handle this ourselves.
Yeah.
The police could come forcibly remove them.
Yeah, they could. Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess, even though it's like not a public property or whatever, I'm sure they could force, it'd be no different than going into a bar, I guess, or some kind of thing. It depends if
it's the government. Depends where you at a provincial park or an actual like.
It was at the Sunset Campground.
Yeah,
private,
they can call that private. They can call the cops, and that's there'd be no problems there.
It's no different than It's no different that way than a hotel room, though.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like there are quiet hours. The pool shuts down. Everything shuts down except for the front desk because there are people in there that might have to go to work tomorrow or catch a flight or whatever else or have an early morning.
But what those people don't think about, the partiers and everything like that, is that there are young children And at 6 o'clock and 7 o'clock in the morning, they will wake up and they will head to the playground
Yes,
and they will make a lot of noise.
Yes.
Which is great.
Yes.
Because you're like, you know what? You messed with them last night. They're going to mess with you today. Ha-ha!
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Right. And it kind of was like that. I mean, and so the next day there was no movement around there until like midday, whatever. Started to see people crawl out of wherever they were. And, but the funny thing was, so on Sunday, a lot of the other tents that were there, they had left because it was like end of the weekend, but we were there until Wednesday.
Yeah, you get to see that big, everybody just, it seems like a ghost town.
Yeah, right. Everyone's right. So basically by Sunday afternoon, it was just us and this trailer and we had all these empty lots. And so Buddy was going by later in the day and he's like, yeah, we're going to get some lobster. Do you want some? And I was like,
sure.
Right? I mean, I'm like, I don't know what he means. I was like, I don't know. He'll probably forget. Anyways, around 6 o'clock, him and someone else, they walk over from their site, two of them, one hand on like each of them grabbing one end of the cooler. And they come over and they open this cooler up and there's this packed full of cooked lobsters. And he just starts taking them out. He just took them out. I'm not kidding you. There was probably 10 or 12 lobster he takes out of this thing and just puts it on our table. And I was like,
listen,
I was like,
only
okay.
Jeremy can go camping and have someone show up with a cooler of cooked lobster.
Let alone like, I don't know, $150 worth. And like, so yeah, he just like, yeah. And they never acknowledged the whole party thing.
Yes, but that's what that was.
Like their way.
That was the apology.
They were
a peace offering. Yeah.
Yes, they were apologizing.
Fair enough.
That was just the craziest. So we had this massive pile of lobster. It's just like, okay, I guess I know what we can eat.
It's so crazy though when
ended up bringing
when
some
you're
home.
in a campground and it's like you said, it's if you go in Friday, everybody's rushing. Saturday, everybody shows up. Sunday, it's like this mass exodus. And then Monday morning, you're like, you get up, and they're like, there's nobody here.
Yeah.
Like that happened to us too in Alma. We went to the little one. We got up in the morning and I looked all around and Katie's like, where is everybody? I'm like, and I'm looking at every single spot and we were the only people in the whole place. There was nobody else. I'm like, this is kind of weird.
you're like, that's when you look and there's a giant asteroid headed straight for you.
And Nora shows up and she's like, we're going to go away for we're going to a party this afternoon. I think this was like a Sunday, like almost Sunday night. So if you need anything, just call this person. They're about 15 minutes away. So enjoy the night. And they just left and we're like, see you later. I guess we're the only people, including the owners, we're the only people in this whole place.
Wow.
Very quiet.
So what'd you do? Like, just run around naked or what?
No. I do not have the body for that. Thank you. Tyson, shut up.
Not with that attitude, you don't.
Tyson was about to say something. I just knew it. So we're gonna cut him off before he gets there.
Mama, that baby bear is up on two legs.
Last weekend.
Yeah.
You
know, words hurt.
Well, boys, I was looking up the fun debate topics.
Oh, man.
And I came across a list, but you can tell me how fun these are.
Oh, man.
Can morality exist without religion?
I don't know. I never gave it any thought.
No.
Could South Vietnam have won the Vietnam War?
I think history's taught us that they didn't. Next.
Did women in Europe gain more rights and freedoms as a result of World War I?
I would assume so.
Man,
I would
these are
assume
fun.
yes. Yes. 100%.
There you go. These are like
I defer to the war experts.
yeah, right. Lightning round debate topics, like one word answer. Do smartphones make us less
Yes.
smart?
Yes.
Gary?
This isn't working out well for you.
We
This
can't
is not
elaborate.
working out well for you, Jay. You keep a throwing and we'll keep a swinging.
Although I think the idea of debate is you get assigned position and try to defend it.
very good.
Yeah.
Whether you agree or not.
Well, that's true. This is more or less your opinion
And I agree that this isn't going so well for
in
him.
one word. Do the Vikings deserve their bad reputation?
Of course not.
They got a bad reputation.
Yeah, so I said, no, they had a bad reputation. I thought they were pretty neat. You know,
I mean,
that they were pretty cool.
Here we go. Oh, we got a hook. We
Seems
got a hook,
pretty
Jay.
cool.
well, Cameron, like when they came to a village, they took everything. And I'm not talking
I
about
should take back
belongings.
what I
I'm
said.
talking they took everything. It was a pretty
I should probably
violent.
take back what I said.
Well, yes. I'm not saying like did it yesterday.
I think it's okay to think that culture, like what they wore and how they did it, and the, you know what I mean, like
Right.
their boats.
That part is the
their
romantic
boats were
part.
were like a marvel for the time and how fast they could be,
Right.
and
Yes.
you know what I mean. There's some
Right.
ingenious,
Yeah.
and how far they went with it, and yeah.
But it's
when they
kind of like
landed
don't
there,
meet
it
your
was
heroes.
particularly cruel.
Right.
Yeah.
Can confirm.
Wow. Does stubbing your toe hurt more than banging your elbow?
Yes. Yes.
Ooh, ooh,
Boys,
ooh.
to add to my list of things. This summer,
Did you break your toe?
I broke my toe.
Wait.
Did you really?
How did you break your toe?
Mowing the lawn.
Did
Gary,
you run over it?
come on.
No,
Come
I
on.
borrowed Dad's lawnmower. I've got like my who gives a crap flip flops on. You know what I mean? The ones that have no grip on the bottom anymore. So I don't care if I ruin them. And you know how like it was just starting to rain,
Oh.
but like I didn't slip. Like so, Cameron, like the bag on the back of the lawnmower is full. So I jump off to go pull it, and like I just wasn't looking. Like I was kind of like, ugh, and I flipped the thing open, and I kicked the tray underneath the lawnmower, and like I knew it hurt, and I sat there for a second. Yeah, but like it happened so quick. Like I had just emptied the thing, I hopped back on the lawnmower, and I didn't drive. I just sat there for a second, like, oh my gosh, that hurt. Oh, that hurt. And then I drove again. And finished the lawn and went to empty the lawnmower again. And this time when I went to hop off, I realized like, oh,
That's way worse.
yeah. Oh, by the next day,
It is much
it's, next
worse.
time I see you, I'll show you. But like by the next day, it was purple. I can't move it anymore. Like, you know how like you can stretch your toes? I do it and only two of them move and the other two are just like, it's not, and it's now turned a little sideways and it's all lumpy. Like it's, oh yeah, I limped around here pretty good and it was purple within 24 hours. And
Did you tape?
I called my mom. I was like, are they going to, I couldn't stand the tape. I tried taping them
Okay,
together.
I was
and I
going to
couldn't.
say, the only thing you
Made
can
it
do is,
work.
the only thing you can do is tape
But-
it.
What's what mom said. She said, all they're going to do is
crazy move.
confirm for you that it's broken and they're going to tape it together and send you home. Like they're not going to do anything. So I didn't even bother going. But mom looked, she's, oh yeah, it's broke. Like you could see the line underneath, almost like if your toe had a knuckle, like I had like and it was turned side, like it was broke. Yeah, like I'm looking at my foot now, and four of my toenails are pointed north, and one's pointed west. Like it's just, and I can't move it at all.
Wow.
Like it's just dead in the water. Like it's like I can't even do it with my hand, but it's like this. I try to move my toes, and it's like this. It's just stuck there. And the clumsiest, like Yeah.
She's stuck in.
You have to put a custom hole in your sock. Get that guy out of there.
First gear.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's stuck. Oh boys.
Is Hamlet truly mad?
Now wait. Here's the problem. Tyson's a teacher, and he's gonna say this. So I used to have a teacher. If you said you were mad, he would, honest to God, lose his mind. He would be like,
if you were mad?
He'd say, mad. No, I'm angry. Very angry. Angry. This is what angry is, not mad. Mad is going cuckoo. And he started going on like he was a nutcase. Anyway, yeah, apparently angry and mad. We use mad as in, like, he was always, if you used mad wrong, he would just lose his mind. He was an English teacher. He had a lot of issues.
I had an English teacher that did that too, but it was with the word like.
Like?
Just flipped out over the word like. He would say,
like if you used it,
he would say nothing is like anything.
Like
Either
what?
it is or it isn't. Pick one. You know, and you would say, well, you know, Chinese food is like, and it's like, no, it's not like. It's not. It either is this or it isn't this.
Okay.
Yeah. But what do you mean? Like Hamlet was crazy? Yeah. I guess.
He was just misunderstood.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say there must be more. There must be an
There we go.
interpretation.
Well,
because
you say it's but it's not a true story.
We all talk to skeletons.
It's a
sometime.
fake.
I knew him well.
Oh gosh.
Where did he get the skull? First of all, why is he walking around with a skull in his hand? Hey, buddy, what's happening?
yeah,
Well, you know who the skull
I
was,
didn't know
right?
that, but in this picture, he's got a skull in his
I
hand.
don't
Yep.
remember
Yeah.
any of that.
Blocked it out, buddy.
I am not cultured.
Who's this? Whose
To be
skull?
honest.
Who is it?
Ratio? I don't know.
You cracked me up. You cracked me up.
Horatio, isn't that like? Aren't they all Greek names? Wasn't that where that fella got lost? Didn't he? Getting down there,
Down there.
you know.
Archimedes?
Yeah, that's a name I would expect. Wow.
Yeah, he was mad.
Yeah, he was mad.
I thought Gary, didn't you say he was misunderstood?
That's where I started. My position.
Gary flops more than I do.
Oh, I like this one. I like this one. Is it important to explore outer space?
Why?
Yes.
Yes.
Why?
The aliens are out there.
No, the
Now we
aliens
know
are
it.
The government
the
submitted
aliens
it.
are in Skinner Ranch.
Yep.
Skywalker Ranch. Whatever the hell it's called. Skinwalker. There you go.
Skinwalker.
Skywalker.
Skywalker.
Skywalker Skinner.
George-
I'm backtracking here. I gotta apologize to Cameron.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. I'll never do that.
It was Horatio, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't.
Was it? Crap.
Yeah, but for once, in my mind, I'm like, Horatio's not in Hamlet, right? Horatio is in Hamlet. But it's not Horatio's skull. It's like
Brutus.
his father's former court jester. It's his skull that he picks up in a graveyard and random.
Brutus was in there too, though, wasn't he?
Okay.
I don't know why I had it in my head that it was like his father's skull, and I didn't want to like say it and be wrong, but it was his father's court jester's skull. But anyway. Okay, back to
seems
aliens at Skywalker
like a-
Ranch.
Agreed.
So is it important to explore outer space?
Why? Let them come to us.
Well, they're here, but I
Okay. Well,
I think
that says a lot, Cam. But where you stand on aliens?
I think it's important.
And asteroids.
I think it's important in the sense of human curiosity, but I don't understand why we haven't explored all of Earth's oceans yet before we're spending.
True.
Like we haven't explored here yet.
This is true.
Yes.
So-
Yes. Like. Yeah.
Like
I have that argument too.
Yeah,
Well, I'm infinitely curious. Like I want to know.
If we can send a ship all the way up there, why can't we send a ship all the way to the bottom of the ocean? They figured out how to get a ship up there. How
Yeah.
come they can't get a ship down there?
There's no giant rock going to fly out of the bottom of the ocean and squish us.
Yes. That's fair.
You don't know that.
Could be one down there right now going, I got Gary's name. Gary, I got your name. You're next.
I suppose if a volcano
up.
exploded,
That's true.
Enough.
Yeah.
Sure.
Atlantis would
it could propel a
come
rock
out of the-
out.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
good.
But I do find this interesting because so NASA's budget is $32.4 billion. They can put the James Webb Space Telescope up there. The United States military is something like, isn't it like a trillion something? It's $1 trillion, right? And they have submarines, the most advanced things ever made, really. And they do what, 1,000 feet? Isn't it something like that? They go down 1,000 feet? And that's like their test depth, or I don't know. That's what's public. Maybe it's deeper, but by scale, right? That's not like, Marianas Trench is what, like 10 or 12 kilometers deep. We can't get nothing of any.
Have you guys been watching the Congress hearings, the congressional hearings on this?
I've seen a few of them.
I just don't
about
know why.
the guy who's like the whistleblower.
Yeah, but it's like no one's talking about it. Like it's the best kept secret. Like these public meetings that you can look up. And this guy, like if he's lying, he's going to go to jail, right? And he's naming
under oath, right?
naming black companies that are actually just a shell company in order to hide tax money to explore this and explore that and disassemble this and reverse engineer that. And he's naming the companies and naming people that work there and naming who his bosses were.
You see,
and he's doing it under oath
here's
to Congress.
Here's the problem with people like that. When you start rocking the boat, you know what's going to happen. You're going to have an accident.
Your plane goes down over Moscow.
Yeah. Leaving Moscow, you were just about to, have a coup a couple months ago, and suddenly you're on a plane and you don't make it. That seems.
We didn't call that one 2 months ago or anything. Oh my gosh.
Well, come on.
I'm not even convinced he's dead. He could just be like, now he can disappear.
A Tom Clancy novel is less obvious than what happened to that. The Prigozhin.
I was just going to ask the same thing.
Gosh.
Did Tom Clancy predict the future, or have we just followed his
It's unreal.
Listen,
subliminally done.
That man
all of his
is the
novels.
playbook.
It's unbelievable, really.
Yeah, but but like you said, every time a major figure in history goes to do something, bad things happen. Like Kennedy wanted to get out of Vietnam. He died. His brother was going to try to get into Congress and take his spot. He died. Martin Luther King talked out about stuff like that too, about Vietnam being bad and everything like that. He was killed. It's like, all right.
Cameron, why do you keep naming the Americans?
Because Canada.
And I'm sitting here thinking, like, what a crazy time to be alive. Cameron, I'm so jealous.
Yeah, well, as American ones are the only ones I can think of just off the top of my head. Like Canada, we don't do that. We don't do that. We make friends with all those other countries. I don't know. It's crazy. I don't understand why.
And
like every time someone brings a conspiracy up, you're just waiting for you almost can see when someone does a whistleblower, you're almost waiting to see, all right, now how long is this kind of guy be alive for? Like, just
Snowden, right? Kind of a big,
like you just when they
big
whistleblow, it's kind of like they're on borrowed time. Sorry, but it's true.
I mean, look at what Nelson Mandela did for the game of hockey. And I mean, look at what that guy went through. Right? Did a lot for hockey. On and off the ice. Legendary. Our next guest is Jonathan Bernier. It's one of my all-time favorite interviews. Just if you have no idea what the heck we're talking about, just Google Jonathan Bernier. It'd probably be the first thing that'll come up. But if you put in Nelson Mandela,
If
it'll be
you're-
the best interview you've ever seen.
If we're talking NHL goalies, since the topic is space, you got to go Brizgal.
Yeah, that guy was wild. Need more.
He's humongous.
Humongous.
He needs to be back with a social media account. Anyways, so the only point I was going to say about this whole should we be exploring outer space thing is like, so we just talked about it. NASA, 32 billion. What's that?
If we don't explore it, people will think the Earth is flat.
You know what? Something tells me they're just going to always think, no matter what you do.
If it's flat, why don't they fall over the edge? That's all I gotta say.
If you've debunked it,
Well, there's a wall.
close,
Of course,
Ice wall.
Antarctica is a
There's a-
wall. That's why.
winter is coming.
So NASA spends 32 billion. The United States government has a budget of $1 trillion. I think their point is like, what if we spend a fraction of that on like other stuff?
You mean stuff
know
that
what I mean?
matters?
Like, it's a lot of money. Well, that's the debate, right? Does it matter or does it not, right? Anyway, it's interesting.
Didn't India just land on the moon?
They did, and the Russians did not. They did, but they crashed into it.
Technically,
Did you see that?
Still landed.
Yeah, they did land.
They just can't get
So
up
did
after.
India?
Yeah.
I didn't know this.
Yeah.
In style.
Yeah.
No,
They landed.
What did they land on the moon?
it was just like last week, wasn't it?
Like a pod, didn't they?
But nobody's on it.
No, I think it's unmanned.
No, it's an unmanned.
Yeah, it's like a capsule.
It is quite the like. We did this already in the '60s, but no one's gone since. With all the technology we have, seems a little.
India becomes fourth country to reach the moon as spacecraft lands near lunar South
Wait,
Pole.
fourth? The Americans, the Russians. Did we?
Canadians.
Yeah. We have a base up there, eh? That's where the Leafs have training camp, eh?
Poutines and beers.
Doesn't I thought China had something that landed?
I thought,
on the
yeah,
moon.
I think
Well,
it
you
did
said
not.
4. I was like, we know 2 for sure, and now we know India's number 4. Who's number 3?
I think it's China. I don't remember but I'm quite sure
China.
China.
Yikes!
So yeah, India just landed, but yeah, like a couple days before the Russian one crashed.
That makes it look so much better for them. They're like, look, we can land one.
Yeah.
Why can't you?
Yeah, and I think I don't know. I haven't read any statements, but I'm sure they read our intent was to crash spacecraft into moon. It's probably they'll just spin it like that's what they meant to do.
Oh man, I saw this clip and I now know he's a comedian, but I didn't know it at the time. And he's from Trinidad. And the only reason I make note of that is because I work 5 days a week for 9 months a year with Dave Gopi, who's from Trinidad, right? And here's this guy from Trinidad with he's got the accent and everything. And his Trinidadian scientists want to send rocket to the sun. Scientists from NASA warn Trinidadian scientists, you cannot fly close to the sun. It will melt. Scientists from Trinidad say, but we'll go at night.
Oh,
That's
wow.
really good.
Yeah.
If only Icarus knew that.
Yes,
Yeah, if only.
If only he knew.
Kid Icarus.
Should Santa bring naughty children presents?
Yes. Technically, if you bring the child a lump
You
of
think so?
coal, that's still a present. Still counts.
I don't know. It depends. Depends what the rule where the line is for naughty.
Oh, ooh. Naughty.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Safe word, I guess.
Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Oklahoma.
Yeah, it depends.
Oklahoma.
It depends what the line is, for like how long. Is the severity of the naughtiness, or is it the length of time that the naughtiness occurs, right?
I mean, can we really leave this decision up to one man?
That's why we must decide. We must decide.
Gary, not a democracy.
Yeah, it's true. Christmas is a dictatorship. Santa's a brutal dictator.
I should be quiet before I get on the list.
Just a moment.
Yeah. Do you want more of these, or does anyone have anything else? There's a whole whack of them here.
Well,
should students be forced to learn math?
Here we go.
Do we have anyone who can answer this?
He's going to defer to this one. You got a veto, Tyson? You can veto this one if you want.
But I have some opinions.
You don't. You don't have math. You don't have nothing.
Sure.
Math is a very large topic.
Well,
with a lot of numbers.
I don't want to deep dive because it's not even going to be a funny conversation. But other countries that outrank us in education, but we're not allowed to go look at what their ideas are. We have to reinvent the wheel all the time with all our policies here.
Yep.
They stop math in grade 8. You're done. If you want to continue to take math and science, you can. If it's something you struggled with your whole life up to grade 8, if you can pass grade 8 math with no help, like no EA sitting with you, no accommodated exam, no like here's your exam. It's not like everybody else's. If you can just pass grade 8 math, they say if you just never want to take it again, then you're done. You're good. You can get through life with grade 8 math. That's fractions, percentages, decimal points. That's it. No big formulas. No, you're done. You can do your taxes. You can have at her. Go live your life. You're done. But the way we do it is we force kids to take math right up until grade 12, and half of them are never going to do it again when they leave.
That would have made my life a lot easier in school.
So, I guess when you asked, my answer was kind of both, because, to a point, because I could say the same thing with English too. Like, you're forcing this kid who's already a great mechanic to read Shakespeare.
Yeah, and it means nothing to them.
Literally never going to write an essay again for the rest of his life. He's out of here. He's never going to do it again. But you made him master the 5-paragraph essay before he left, just to never do it again.
That's really going to help.
You could make that argument all the way around.
That's really going to help him change the sub pump and the crankshaft in a car. Just a minute, I got to read this whole huge essay I got going on here. Yeah. I hated school.
Oh, I got that needs to be our thumbnail. He got mad and left.
Oh, is he back? Oh, his eyebrows are moving now.
So's the cord on his headset. But Cameron, you missed it.
Yeah, I may have been.
Well, you just froze like this.
You're back.
Oh man!
I hope that gets recorded. Actually, it won't get recorded like that. But yeah. Anyway.
Now, I may have been the odd exception.
You are the odd exception, Gary.
I was scrape. I just scraped by in math most of the way, and then all of a sudden in grade 11, it just clicked, and I had like the second highest grade in the district for the level I was at.
That's a interesting case.
It was like very strange. If I would have stopped at grade 8, I just probably would have never.
Well,
excelled
and in their cases,
or
you
figured
don't
it out.
necessarily stop in grade 8, right?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I probably wouldn't have
But-
pursued it. Yeah, I probably wouldn't have pursued it any further because I was terrible.
Yeah, but
at it.
in this case,
Right.
like, so Gary, you went computer science, right?
I didn't.
Yeah, but you would have had to
Yeah.
stay with math.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't have chosen computer science if in grade 8 I decided to stop taking math.
Yeah.
That's interesting though. That's
The only
that's
math
kind
that
of,
Well,
I was
and-
good at
Yeah.
was I'm blanking on the name of it. Is it trigonometry, A, and all that stuff? Algebra. Sorry, yeah. That's the one I was actually
Algebra.
horrible student. Made like 50s. Was a good day, but put me in algebra, and I just tore through it. It made absolute sense when they put numbers in it. It was like, I don't get it, but when they did it that way, I was really good. It made no sense.
See, I feel like this isn't a funny conversation, but it's like, Gary, like the stuff can't stand. Yeah, but the stuff wouldn't. You already, believe it or not, like you said, you wouldn't have pursued it. But it's almost like what they're not listening to some of us on is that you can't just have one. You can't just make a blanket decision like, we just decided we're going to stop it in grade 8. Like, you need to revamp everything before grade 8. So, like, I was in a grade 3 shop class. And the idea was, but they were making stuff for home, and they were making ladles, Cameron, and they were hand hammering metal already and understanding how that stuff worked. But the whole idea was to introduce you to these things before you got to grade 8 and had to start making decisions. And if you didn't know what your decision was, well, then you still took everything the next year, right? Until you knew what your decision was going to be. And they actually graduate earlier than we do. And then when they do the big worldwide PISA tests, they whoop us. So we have 16-year-olds like royally beating our 18-year-olds on this IQ test. So,
Wow.
like, not only are they beating their equivalent of grade 12, right? But they're 2 years younger. And I think it's because we accidentally, we make sure before you graduate here that you're at least average at everything before you leave school to go become an expert at one thing and make money at it. Like, it's very, and up there, they try to get you average and a taste of everything till about grade 8, and then grade 9, grade 10. And electives you could take in grade 11 and leave. It's like, well, now you can choose and streamline to try to explore what path you want to go down. And the results of that are their test results are
Through the roof.
Yeah. That makes so much sense. I wish I had that instead of what I had, which was, like you said, I had to learn everything. And
well, in my case,
I just never thought of that side of it.
well, it might not have made a difference to me, but it would have made a difference in my average. I'll tell you that.
Jack of all.
Because I was like Gary, but I had like the second highest mark in history, and I had like the second highest mark in English. Like, I remember I missed both by just a little bit. And then I got a 60 right on in chemistry, and you know what I mean? But it all counted towards your average. So, like, I got marks that are like 97 and up, and then there's an 82, and there's a 60, and there's a 78. And the courses he has to take or he can't graduate. And I never did those again. Never did them again.
Yeah.
I failed sewing.
I don't really know how to feel about that, Gary.
The stain on my academic career.
I never took sewing.
Start crying about
really?
job interviews.
I thought about it the other day. I never took a home ec course ever. I somehow got through all of my years in school and never took home ec.
I had cooking.
Those were some of my favorite courses.
Those are called bird courses. They were called the bird courses.
Well, you'd think.
There was just like
I
a
was
free
always in
credit.
shop.
That's what you think.
I made a pair of boxer shorts. I had 26
Oh,
patches.
I thought he was going somewhere else with that one.
I remember me and Brad were lab partners, and we had to make bran muffins. And when the teacher wasn't looking, he had put like 2 packs of blue Kool-Aid in the bran muffins and threw them into the oven. And then when she goes to pull them out of the oven, ours are like this bright blue. And she's like, what did it just do? What did it just do? So yeah, it should have been a bird course, but you know.
Yeah. I had to cook it too, and I remember one day no oven mitt on. I reached in and grabbed the cookie sheet right out of the oven with my bare hand.
You only do that once or twice, maybe 3 times.
You do, yeah. You remember forever after that. Yeah. Wow.
I can just see Jeremy. Blunk. Ah!
Yeah. Basically, yes. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. That's that's really interesting, Gary. I just, I wonder what you would have done if that never, if
He
you'd
could have been the next Louis Vuitton.
what would have happened?
Designing fashions.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Gary Godfrey.
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 Godfrey. Gary.
Oh, my face.
You'd have a ramp with those models that walk on it with triangles coming out of their heads and all those weird,
Go to Gary's gate.
stuff they
It's a
do.
big G.
I'd just be making the Jerry Seinfeld tunic all the time. Puffy shirt.
The pirate shirt,
Curly
the puffy shirt. Oh, boys.
Yeah. Oh man. Was this it or what?
Maybe.
She's pretty lengthy.
How's your lawn?
Yeah, it is actually pretty lengthy.
She's pretty, the podcast is too.
You just have to. You have to. Low-hanging fruit.
I had to.
It's low-hanging fruit and it's low-hanging fruit.
Yeah.
Well, I just mowed my backyard tonight, actually. I had to do it in 2 stages.
Oh, boys, we were supposed to talk about
I did mine on Monday and Tuesday.
boys. We were supposed to talk about gardening.
Oh,
Remember, it was gardening tips.
you
Next time.
you should
Gardening
see my Carolina Reapers. They are ready to go.
But
Are you going to
Key
eat
wants
one
me
live
to-
on an episode?
I don't think that's going to happen.
you could be talking about narcotics for all I know. I don't know what that is.
Oh, I thought that would be right
What, a
down your
Carolina
alley.
Reaper?
Me? Why?
It's the
All right,
hottest
hang on.
pepper in
Hot
the
peppers.
world.
Oh, is it? And you're growing them?
Yeah, I am. I have
Man.
I have cayenne, habanero, chili, and I have Carolina Reapers.
And gravy.
And vedetas.
The
Gary,
gravy plant.
can you see my face?
Everyone can see your face.
Great,
This is Cameron's face, everybody.
Gary.
Right here.
Nice knowing you.
Man, how much would we have to pay for you to try one of
Very,
those?
very intimidating.
I don't know.
Next episode, Cameron just takes a bite out of a Carolina Reaper.
Normally,
These things look insane.
Well, read the Scoville level. It's like insane. So look at a habanero. Scoville is the heat of a pepper, and then look at that one, and it's like right off the chart.
Cameron, man, I feel like next episode you have to do it.
I can't. They're not ready yet.
I can picture the video though with like a countdown all the way down. You know what I mean? Like we wait till the episode's almost over and then you do it, so then you don't have to talk anymore, and it counts down the whole time to Cameron
keep
taking
it-
a bite of this thing.
Oh,
Oh, that'd be gold.
oh.
Have a jug of
Well, I can't
gravy
drink
beside
milk.
you just to cool it down. Exactly. Jug of gravy.
Jay, it's not a natural plant. The guy who made it actually genetically engineered it. I don't know how, but anyway, it's super small. It's only like this big. It's like super small, but it's like I was watching this.
You can't go to jail for that?
Maybe.
Seems like you should, you know.
He genetically engineered these plants.
Yeah. And
Did he watch Jurassic Park or?
yeah, really. I was watching a show
Ranked.
on Netflix, and it was like a barbecue show or something like that. Anyway, he comes out and they're all kind of looking, and he opens the briefcase, and all the cooks go like this at the exact same time. They look like they're like super scared and nervous, and I'm looking at Katie going, "Wait, I'm growing those, and those guys look super scared, and they're professionals. What's going on?"
Do you have a permit? Do you have to have a license? Ranked as the Guinness World Records hottest pepper, the Carolina Reaper peaked at about 2.2 million Scoville heat units.
Now go look up a habanero pepper in Scoville, and it's like 200 or 600 or 2,000.
So do you ever see like the neighbor's dogs out sniffing around there?
Oh no, definitely not.
Little flamethrower.
Yeah, not the way you'd want it either.
No.
Kids are like, look, Dad, dragons. They have dragons in their yard.
Dog would walk
But
right
it's-
for a year.
Lifts its tail.
Both ends.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Cameron and Katie breed dragons in their yard. They're called Carolina Reaper dragons.
Yeah. The cayenne is good. I got the cayenne's already turning red,
All right.
so I've already had a couple of those, so not bad.
Next
Wow, the
episode.
jalapeno
Next
is
episode.
embarrassing
Yes,
low.
it's embarrassing low. Yes.
Wow.
Now Jeremy's interested. He wants to try one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
There's other ones though, eh? There's the Dragon's Breath and Pepper X.
Pepper X is the new one.
I'm just saying.
Elon Musk.
So it makes everybody regret it.
It used to be called Pepper Twitter.
Man, he puts that X on everything.
Betty White, are you here?
Amazing. Wow.
I got nothing.
Sorry. I have to do so much editing. I should have told you to move your mic.
Who, me?
Yep. I should have told you. It's my bad.
Oh, I don't know these things. How would I know these things?
Now that the music is fading. No, you don't.
Well, it's a new headset.
No, it's not the headset. It's just where the mic is. That's all.
Yeah.
It's all good, man.
Just wait for the audio when he's eating that Reaper.
Oh man, that has to happen. Like that
The
has
end.
to happen.
The ends burned right off it.
It'll just be one long sensor button,
Yeah.
I guess.
Did he? We can't.
Did you flick the switch,
Yeah, something.
Cam? No, we can't hear you. It's gone, buddy.
And on
All
that
right,
note,
everybody.
We'll see you next time.
Oh no! What is that?
No.
Oh!
Sounds like you're on board a U-boat. so loud.
I think on that note, thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah, thanks for. See you next time.
I'm sorry.
You know what I mean? Kidding around like, hey, fellas. And I crawled in bed. And the weight of the three of us within 2 seconds, just boom, down on the ground. And I'm talking, Cameron, you couldn't have counted to 3. That guy was in the door. Like, what happened? What happened here?
So,
how did,
because like,
oh man, it was
somehow,
so quick.
You just wasted some of your life listening to the Bush League podcast. You must stop what you're doing right now. Like and subscribe and leave a 5-star rating. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and like us on Facebook.